Hello and welcome to how to strengthen your parts without having to change material. In this video we're going to talk about two different designs that could help you with that. So the first portion we're going to look at is just what a solid piece would look like. This is just a datum point. If this was a piece of metal, this would probably be your strongest bet, but since we're doing 3D printing, we'll see it with the infill and compare it. The next one we're going to look at is a hollowed out version. So this one here is great because you have two wall thicknesses right beside each other or closer to each other with infill that's connecting it, which allows you to have more resistance to that rotational bit. If you had a wall thickness on the top as well, like a cap, it would probably be very strong. The only downfall is your directional this way may suffer because you're going to have potential flex even if we connect it in comparison to the next design, which is a spline version. So this spline version will give you strength both rotationally, as it's also going to move the forces that are rotating here out to the outside rim as well, but it'll also give you less bending if you have any forces going in this direction, which is a huge benefit because you may not want it to crumple into itself. So it also depends on what you're going to do for application. If you want purely just rotational, you could go with this design or the hollow design. So let's take a quick look at the slicers so you can see what it looks like printed. Now that we're in the slicer, the first one we're going to slice is just the regular solid one. We're going to do 0.2 millimeter layer height with 15% infill for all three of them, just to keep it as the same. So we're going to slice it, take a look. So this first one takes 6.76 meters of filament, just under an hour and 45 minutes to print. And as you can see, you have two shells here and two shells on the outside with a bunch of infill on the inside. So this would have a lot of potential of flexing. It would still be strong, don't get me wrong, but it could cause some challenges for you in that rotational aspect if the infill just didn't print properly. So let's take a look at the next version, which would be the hollowed out version. Again, be forewarned, if you had a top layer on it as well, it would actually be stronger. And here is your part sliced. So it takes 6.79 meters of filament and it takes just over 2 hours to print. And that's just because you're going to have your machine going on the outside and inside for this instead of the infill. So as you can see, you have two shells on the inside, two more shells on the outside with the infill. And since it's being closer, it gives you a little bit better strength. And then you have your outside shells. And like I said, you can have all that strength with all the top layer being on both top and bottom. So this could be very strong for something that's just going to simply rotate and be utilized in that way. Now let's take a look at the last version, which is the spline version. With this one, you can see it takes a little bit more filament, being 7.88 meters, and it takes the longest with being just under 2 hours and 45 minutes. But your benefits are your material has more cross sections with infill filled for your piece. So this will definitely see better force in this direction and rotationally. And the reason for that is when this is rotating, even though this will flex, the force can be distributed through these cross splines to the outside as well. So you're able to distribute your forces more, and it creates more rigidity for the part. So it makes it harder to break. But even that, with that being said, if you're using PLA, it still has a chance of breaking compared to, let's say, an ABS or a PETG, which has more strength as a material in general. This is just a couple of good ways to strengthen a part without having to buy something that's more exotic, if you just need something to test in the grand scheme of things for test fits and seeing if it'll function. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, this is Tyler with 3D Printer Store, and I hope you have a great day.